Okay, Ms. Chair, it's 4 o'clock. You're ready to start.
Thank you. We're going to call to order the Wednesday, September 16th, 2020 meeting of the Sugarland 4B Corporation. And I will call roll and ask the members to signify their attendance. Mr. Atkinson? Mr. Atkinson?
He's shared that he might not be able to make it.
Thank you. Mr. Gasani?
Yeah, I'm here.
Thank you. Mr. Kamali? Ms. McCutcheon?
Here.
Mr. Porter?
Here.
Ms. Sewell?
Here.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is public comment. Citizens who desire to address the City Council, Board, and/or Commission with regard to matters on the agenda will be read and/or received at this time. Members of the public desiring to make comments during this portion of the meeting will be allowed to submit their comments as outlined above to the Office of the City Secretary at sugarlandtext.gov. Written, emailed comments and/or requests to participate during this portion of the meeting must be received by 2 p.m. on Wednesday, September 16th, 2020. The City of Sugarland reserves the right to remove any written, emailed comments deemed inappropriate as outlined above, and/or not related to matters posted on the agenda. Comments or discussion by the City Council, Board, and/or Commission members will only be made at the time the subject is scheduled for consideration. Are there members of the public to address the board?
No, ma'am.
There being no members to address the board, the meeting is closed to the public. Next on the agenda is the consideration of and action on the minutes of August 19, 2020 meeting. Thomas Harris III, City Secretary. Do we have a motion to accept the minute?
Yeah, motion to approve.
Ms. McCutcheon, a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Porter. Now we'll call roll. Mr. Gasani?
Yeah, I'm here.
You approve?
Yes.
Ms. McCutcheon is already approved. Mr. Porter, approved. Ms. Sewell?
Approved.
Saunders, approved. The motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Contracts. Consideration of and action on authorization.
Excuse me, Ms. Chair. You skipped Kamali. And Kamali, and Kamali, we can't hear you. Just raise your hand if you approve. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kamali. Unanimous approval. Thank you. Next on contracts, consideration of and action on authorization of a marketing contract between Sugarland Development Corporation, Sugarland 4B Corporation, and Development Counselors International, LTD, DCI, in the amount of $230,000 for an integrated marketing program promoting economic development. Teresa Preza, Assistant Director of Economic Development.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. In today's presentation, we will re-engage in the contract conversations for a year-long integrated marketing program with Development Counselors International, otherwise known as DCI. As you may recall from last month's workshop, you have for your consideration and action today a $238,000 contract, of which SL4B would be responsible for half of its cost at $119,000. Of note, we did amend the original pre-COVID proposal to reduce travel costs and include creative hours, as it has become evident that modifying some of our marketing collateral would be key to the program's success. Overall, the integrated marketing program would be focused on positioning Sugarland as a location of choice as the Texas economy recovers, especially regarding economic opportunities related to the migration to suburban markets. Next slide, please. Here's just a short recap of what's included in the program as far as deliverables. The integrated marketing strategy consists of a three-pronged approach: generating positive media coverage, targeting corporate executives with digital ads, and educating and nurturing those relationships with site selectors. Next slide. DCI will begin with a virtual immersion tour to generate those storylines, create a bank of spokespersons, and then create a targeted media list ideal for our office. Next slide. They would then get to work on generating that positive media coverage by using both proactive and reactive pitching to the media. Next slide. With the goal of generating at least 5 to 7 positive media stories. Next slide. To target corporate executives, DCI would create a digital ad strategy using Google paid search, a targeted LinkedIn campaign, and then obviously continuously optimizing our digital platforms with the goal to generate leads. Next slide. To educate site selectors, DCI will generate a minimum of 4 e-news, which are different than the e-blasts that we're currently sending out. These will be specifically designed to communicate with site selectors. They would secure, they will also help and secure us co-host virtual meetings with site selectors. And then of course, DCI will provide us with access to their location advisor database, as well as their site selectors research information. Next slide. Related back to the built-in creative hours, DCI will conduct a marketing collateral audit to identify what works, what needs to be improved, and then kind of help create those items that are central to the program. Next slide. Once again, the contract is for a 12-month integrated marketing program, an overall cost of $238,000, of which $189,000 are for professional services and $49,000 are for hard costs, which are paid as they are used. Next slide. Staff recommends approval of a contract with Development Counselors International, DCI, for a 12-month integrated program for a contract total of $238,000, which will be split evenly between SL4B at $119,000 and SLDC at $119,000. Next slide. Post the board's consideration today and pending the action taken, the next step would be to bring this contract for SLDC consideration at their October meeting, which will be in a couple of weeks. Next slide. I would like to recognize that Kat Saunders with DCI is in the meeting or on the line if there should be any specific questions about the contract itself. Madam Chair?
Thank you. Are there questions? There being no questions, do we have a motion to approve the contract?
I'll make a motion to approve the contract.
I'll second it.
I'm going to poll the board. Mr. Gastani has approved. Mr. Kamali
Approved.
has approved. Ms. McCutcheon,
Aye.
Mr. Porter, Ms. Sewell,
Approved.
Saunders, approved. The board has unanimously approved the motion
Uh,
to pass.
Ms. Chair, Atkinson, he's back. He's now joined the meeting. And also, can you repeat who's first and second as well?
First was Kamali, second was Gasani.
Mr. Atkinson, did we hear that you approved? Can you unmute Mr. Atkinson?
This is Atkinson. Atkinson approves.
Thank you so much. Mr. Atkinson has approved. It's unanimous for the board. Motion is passed. Next on the agenda is the director's report, marketing, promotions and events, strategic and capital projects, business recruitment and retention efforts. Lisa Preza, Assistant Director of Economic Development.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a quick recap or update regarding our Sweet Cash program. As of Monday, we have received a total of 643 submissions, and we have distributed more than 2,300 gift cards to both consumers and frontline workers. For the combination of our initial investment plus what the consumers have purchased in gift cards from various businesses, we estimate a current impact of more than $150,000 in our economy. Wanted to share some unique utilization of the Sweet Cash program. We received word that a local property management firm actually purchased 48 $50 gift cards, and they were keen on nominating frontline workers. They also shared that they appreciate what Sweet Cash is doing for our community. Also, one of our HOAs purchased gift cards to distribute to their volunteers in lieu of a big banquet. So now they will be able to provide even more gift cards to their volunteers to thank them for their work. As we finish out the third month and enter into the fourth month of the Sweet Cash program, staff is currently looking at making some modifications to better streamline the submission process, as well as continue the success of the program that we've experienced so far. We'll make sure to share some of these modifications to the boards once we've fleshed out some of these ideas. Also, many of you may recall we were working on a large project, Project Orion, in spring of 2020, where we made the final 2 locations for consideration for a life science business. Since then, the company announced that they would be expanding their business to Raleigh, North Carolina, which, as most of you know, is known as a biomedical ecosystem that has been in the making for more than 30 years. We did ask, though, for a follow-up with the site selectors just to kind of gauge and get a better understanding of like the behind-the-scenes conversations. And we were amazed to hear some of the things that they shared with us. They said that we had a stellar in-person presentation. We, quote, won the day. We gave the company an opportunity to pause for a moment to really think through who truly wanted them. Sugarland, as he mentioned, was a hidden gem, which was great to hear. And they commented on staff's responsiveness and professionalism. So using the information shared, and since this is a sector where we are strategizing how to best position Sugarland, we're looking at utilizing this feedback to build a business case to attract other life science prospects to our area. And lastly, I am very excited to share this negative information. As you know, continuing with in tandem with Sweet Cash, I am very excited to share with the board that the Sugarland Office of Economic Development will be the recipient of the Texas Economic Development Council's Award for Community Economic Development for Innovativeness for our Sweet Cash program. This has truly been such a unique program that has positively impacted our businesses, helped build goodwill with many of our small businesses, and just our overall community. So I would like to take the opportunity to recognize the entire department for all of their creativity, problem solving, marketing efforts, late nights, etc., you name it, and just overall their hard work in this program. Thank you, and that is the end of my report.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for your outstanding report. And thank you, Kat Saunders, for joining us. We appreciate your input over these many meetings.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity.
There being no further business, do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Ms. McCutcheon,
Oh, she did. I'll second.
Ms. Sewell seconds the motion. I'm going to poll the membership. Mr. Atkinson? Motion to adjourn. Do you agree? Mr. Atkinson, can you unmute?
How's that? Can you hear me now? I approve.
Thank you. Mr. Gastani?
Aye.
Mr. Kamali?
Aye.
Ms. McCutcheon?
Aye.
Mr. Porter? Ms. Sewell?
Aye.
And Saunders approve. Motion is unanimous and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for your participation. Appreciate you so much. And the staff especially. Thank you.
Yeah, well done.
Agree.
Good to see
We all
you.
agree. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a nice night.
Thank you.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
All of you. Bye-bye.